1, 2, 3 in my class, or I'm in a bad mood. I love biology, I love physics, I love chemistry, I love math, I hate English. Today I wish I didn't hate English so much. In my biology class, we learned about a guy, Gregor Mendel. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with that guy. He's the father of genetics. Now his idea of genetics and our idea of genetics, they might be a little different. What he did was, he worked with peas. He found traits in a particular plant that he liked, traits in other plants that he liked. He grew plants when they flower. He crossbreed one with the other to get his desired trait. And he did that successfully. I mean, he did thousands of plants. This guy was a really brilliant man. So for instance, if you saw a beautiful pea that had a nice green color, and you saw one that had a plump, full body, he would crossbreed them and get this new plant that had both characteristics. It took many tries to do that. But when you get that, then you take that plant out, and then you grow the plant to get the characteristics that it has. Eventually, we start doing it with, maybe in Spain, not in Colombia, but we start doing it with animals. We find bulls that had special characteristics, ferocious bulls, and cows that had special characteristics, and we bred them together to get what? Better quality, desired properties. This is a good thing. We can always improve the quality of animal or plant. Well, my great-grandparents on my mother's side came from Scotland. And my great-grandparent on my father's side came from Africa. And look what they got. Look at me today. So there's some good things in doing this thing. Today, in the early 70s, we had genetic engineering. Fascinating subject. Man, I'm telling you, I came across that stuff and I was just all into it. This is the way of the future. I'm persuaded that this is going to change the way we live forever for better. So I set my mind on understanding as much as I could on this topic. I was going to college and eventually came to the United States. Did some studies here. My wife got sick and I couldn't go to school anymore. That was the end of that. But I still pursued my interest as much as I could. Now today we have GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Now remember what I told you about Gregor Mendel, how he did his thing. Let me regress a little bit. Genetic engineering, as it started, we were able to take, in the laboratory, we created DNA strand. We got a gene, we cut a slice of strand out of DNA from a gene, and then we sliced our artificial stuff in there and created who knows what. I'm persuaded that some of the events that we see in the world with insects and things that have gone out of their natural behavior is a result of some of these things. So we have this genetic engineer today where we take let me explain how this actually works. There's a company that makes pesticide. They spray pesticide in a field and discovered that there were bacteria living in the field that was not killed by this pesticide. So they were able to splice DNA from this bacteria into corn and other products, soybean, cottonseed oil, etc., and created a new variety of corn that produced the protective enzyme that the bacteria used to produce. Every living cell in the corn is now producing this stuff. Now, you never had that. You never ate that bacteria in your life. But if you eat corn today, 98% of the corn grown in the United States, GMO, cottonseed, soybean, zucchini, yellow squash. To know or not to know. All these are producing enzymes your body has no idea what to do with. And you wonder why there's so many sickness. You wonder why kids are getting diabetes at an early age. Young girls are looking like adults when they're 8 years old. Our biological structure is being redesigned. And you do not know, you have no idea what's going on. So my question to you, do you want to continue on this route? You have to take a stand still, do some research, make sure you know what you're eating. Because if you don't, who knows what's going to happen to you. But after this class.